The 2024 52 Super Series title went to the wire, to the final races of the last day of an exciting 5-regatta season for the world's leading Grand Prix monohull circuit. Looking back, 2023 was even closer. The top two teams at the end of the final regatta could not be separated. Indeed, the 2023 championship was decided only on countback. After 13 years as the world's leading Grand Prix monohull circuit, the 52 Super Series has never been bigger, has never been more competitive, and has never seen so many different teams winning regattas, winning races, and indeed finishing on the podium. And while 2025 now looks to be set to be another absolute cracker, closer than it's ever been, now with firm plans all the way into 2026 and indeed to 2027, the future of the 52 Super Series has never looked brighter. The 52 Super Series actually follows quite a simple formula. We go to compete at very cool venues and race hard against like-minded, discerning owners who themselves are at the top of their game, with teams who want to perform at their highest level, and all have the greatest fun doing so. Looking at the boat itself, well, the TP52 is now so fully optimised that high-level competitive performance is actually more accessible than ever. Gone are the days when the big top-dog teams ruled around the racecourse. Now, the well-sailed, hard-grafting underdogs can have their day, and indeed they can win regattas, such as we saw when the Whitcraft family's V.I.P triumphed in Newport during 2024. Three new boats were built and campaigned in 2024. In sports, they might say don't change a winning formula, but actually both of 2023's top teams, Harmuller-Speer's Platoon and Ergen Imre's runners-up Pravetsa, both in fact decided to try and step up a level, and they both built new boats, as did Andy Soriano's Allegra team. Pravetsa did come on stream slightly later in the season, but both the new boats took time to reach their best over the early part of the season. 2024 saw two new international teams joining in the French Teasing Machine and Brazil's Criolla team. Both proved competitive from the absolute get-go as experienced owners who knew their way around the racecourse. For 2025, another experienced team from Italy will join up. It looks like we'll see 13, 40 or maybe even 15 teams racing and 10 nations lining up. And new boat builds are on the horizon for 2026. Certainly we know that two past champion teams are planning to launch for the next season, and it seems certain that others will follow. Around the 52 Super Series race dock and the village, the ambience really is quite unique. Just as top teams feature America's Cup winners, Olympic medalists, round-the-world racers and dozens of world champions, there are also more and more new young happy faces evident on the race boats, and on the tech teams, and on the organising teams ashore. Off the water, the company is cool, the vibe is relaxed, and the circuit takes great pride in sometimes going off the beaten track, going to new places, or indeed reigniting global interest in proven historic venues. Consider the fun, the great times we had in Croatia, in Galicia, Miami, and even Cape Town, South Africa. And looking ahead to 2026 and 27, the itinerary is certainly outside Europe, looking to go back to other continents and try more distant horizons. But we also know what we love, and we love what we know. Palma, Puerto Portales, Costa Smeralda, Cascais, Menorca, all these legendary race areas offer great times ashore as well. The need to protect our fragile marine and coastal environment has always been fundamental to the 52 Super Series and to everyone involved. Sustainability remains at the heart of our DNA. Over the years, we've developed from looking after our venues better, simply constantly reducing our impact, to now promoting a global message, different initiatives, educating and inspiring change within the local communities also. From running sustainability workshops for venues to partnering with like-minded local NGOs, supporting particular local initiatives. We also use our voice at the 52 Super Series on a global scale within the sport, and through Kick Out Plastic, our ambassadors from different sports join together to spread the messages for positive changes in behaviour and choices to outside sailing's normal reach. We aim to not only leave each venue better than we found it, we look to leave a positive legacy. We refuse, we reuse, and we recycle wherever we go. We clean beaches and shorelines, and we prompt others to do the same.
Kick out plastic!
Racing is very close all the way through the fleet. There has been a carefully managed evolution to keep the boats fast, and they're all so incredibly evenly matched. They really are the weapon of choice for top-level owners who all share the same love of pure performance, of high speeds, of running, or being part of a team which needs to be much more than just the sum of its parts. A team which is maybe small enough to be fun, personal and friendly, but big enough to require great management, a shared vision, and the love of making positive progress all together. Team success is not just about all those on the raceport out on the racecourse. It's about great shore crews keeping the machines in top reliable order. It's about sail designers, boat builders, logistics. Everything contributes to top performance. The modern TP52 is fast and a whole heap of fun. Crews love big breeze days, the boats light up and surf downwind, and like in the Atlantic or on the stronger days in the Med, it's all the more fun and it really tests the crewing skills. And let's not forget, it's a box rule. That means owners and crews still have latitude, enough choices and options on the table to make and implement their own little design choices. The end result is mostly incredibly close fun racing. Everyone from bow to stern is involved and tested, very often to the limits. Time was when a new boat and a new design was pretty much a silver bullet, a passport to the top end of the fleet. Now the options for design studios to make performance gains are much smaller, but for sure there are still owners who want to find these small gains in performance. But time on the water, tuning and testing, refining and learning to sail the new boats is even more critical than before. Andy Soriano's Alegre was the first to launch in early 2024, and they had a consistent season overall, starting well and improving all the way through the year. They made sure they had time to train and to work up their new Bottine design, which is to a new family of designs, while Platoon Aviation, a sister from the same mould, took the team a little bit longer to get to grips with, and indeed in Palma they did not do that well. At the first regatta, they were short on training time for a team making a complete change of designers from the Vrolic boat they had and won the 2023 title with to a completely new boat design. The reason for their choice was as much about seizing the opportunity to have a boat from the same mould as Alegre, and indeed, Platoon Aviation had seemed to just find the right means and modes when they hit an object in Newport, and that caused damage to the rudder, which had to be replaced. But actually, from that point on, it got better and better for the Platoon Aviation team, and indeed in Puerto Portals they finished second, and then they went on to win the Royal Cup in Valencia. Ergen Imre, who finished the runner-up in 2023, also chose to build new, but the respected Turkish owner and his team took a long-term view. They stuck with the German Vrolic design studio and chose to launch their new boat in Portals in August to really get some races in and really focus on being ready for 2025. And in what proved to be a very shrewd option, Tony Langley's British team took on the former Alegre as the new Gladiator.
We are back!
The circuit started early, in fact late April in the 52 Super Series Palma Vela Sailing Week, part of the Rail Club Nautica de Palma's annual showcase, the curtain-raising regatta for the Mediterranean season. And as the fleet assembled, there was so much excitement and anticipation. Many new faces around as well, and of course the two new boats just launched, Platoon Aviation and Alegre.
We are pretty much excited to get the new boat, but I mean, it's a long way to go because the boat is totally different in the whole concept. It's sailing differently, and you have to learn a lot. How could you improve to get up to speed?
It's difficult. Not easy. Everyone's working as a team, but it's not easy.
Doug DeVos's Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic, brought in 4 new young sailors onto the roster in line with their initiative to give opportunities and to train up young American sailors leading into their America's Cup program.
We have a core group of quantum racing of highly skilled and determined sailors, but also a new group of young, highly motivated sailors, and I think it's going to be really interesting how we come together as a team and how we learn from the experienced sailors, but also from each other.
On Alegre, Spanish 470 world champion Sylvia Mas joins the crew, bringing in loads of energy and young ideas. Young Kiwi rising star Leo Takahashi joins the fast-improving Alpha Plus group, but experience and a whole new impetus comes to Paprec in the effervescent form of Loic Perron, and the same too as Adrian Stead comes on board the sled team. The 52 Super Series Palma Vela Sailing Week proved to be a short, intense regatta. The Bay of Palma made us wait for some time for enough breeze to race, but it also delivered some really legendary conditions, with a reminder of how great the Bay of Palma can be in spring. 2 big 3-race days were absolutely pivotal. Alegre got off to the strongest start, then after the first day, Quantum Racing improved, sailing well, and they shared the lead with Alegre going into the last day. But while Quantum Racing followed a pattern we've seen before and failed to convert on the last day, consistency was topped by a glorious adrenaline-pumping win on the last race to give Provezza a really memorable opening win of the season. In fact, it's the last regatta with this faithful, successful boat. It was an emotional and popular win in Palma for Provezza.
Honoring end for the boat. It's going to the new owner now, and we are extremely happy. It was a regatta with ups and downs, but I think we had the least downs, so that's made the difference in the end. And to win the last race was just a miracle and dream come true. It was very nice, and it is a late excuse of the odds for last year maybe.
It was a great way to finish our last race on P10. Done a few years and a few miles on the boat, and it was nice to finish our last race and win it, and then the way the points worked out, we won the regatta as well, so we've got good memories now of this boat.
So the final standings after the first event of the 2024 season show the winners are Provezza, leading the circuit on 25 points, second Quantum Racing powered by American Magic on 27, and third are Interlodge on 32. And then it's back to the USA for the first time in many years, but this time to the New York Yacht Club, a fantastic shared odyssey to the home of the America's Cup. Going to Newport together was by all accounts long overdue for the circuit. But being immersed in the historic atmosphere at the New York Yacht Club's beautiful harbour court and being based out of the safe harbour Newport shipyard was truly magical. Everyone just loves the atmosphere of Newport, a town that knows and adores sailing. Raced under the burgee of the New York Yacht Club, the regattas were a great chance for teams like the New York Yacht Club's own America's Cup Challengers, represented by Quantum Racing powered by American Magic, to fight for a home win. Sled's Takakura is also a long-time member of the club, and so too Austin and Gwen Fragaman are big-time members of the club, and they hosted the owners' dinner. And the American dream, well, dreams do come true. After finishing 10th, that's very bottom of the table in Palma, the Whitcraft family's tie-flagged Vayu found a winning formula in Newport. They started cleanly most of the week and were able to make consistently good first upwind legs to get themselves into contention. And on the last day, indeed Father's Day, they did just enough to win their first regatta, proving that hard work and self-belief does pay off in the end.
Just absolutely blows us away. Totally amazed. I got to say, we didn't expect to be first. It's just fantastic. It shows hard work, never give up, always works and always pays off.
So after the Palma event and the XS52 Super Series Newport Rhode Island Trophy, Quantum Racing take the lead on 63 points, Gladiator are now second and Sled on third. The third event was the Rolex TP52 World Championship, and the World Championships are always a step up. Of course, it is a circuit regatta, but it's a standalone world title. And whether you're doing well in the circuit standings or not, everyone wants to win the world title. Coming back to Newport, Rhode Island, the excitement is massive. The teams are returning to the racecourse that they've already learned quite well, and indeed, for sure, any team could win. And what a great venue. Defending world champions are Platoon Aviation. They're coming back from their problems at the XS Trophy the previous month, and once again, three home teams, Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic, Sled and Interlodge, would all love to win the world title at their home yacht club. In fact, straight out on the water, Vayu seemed to carry on where they left off. But over the piece on day one, Sled opened best with 2 second places. Gladiator served notice, they drew down the gauntlet, they were upping the game all the time, and Gladiator actually delivered their game plan successfully each and every day. They rolled out Rolex TP52 World Champions, their biggest ever success, and Tony Langley was, predictably, delighted.
We've come a long way in the last 2 seasons, the last 1.5 seasons. Yeah, but before that it was a long road. It makes it all worthwhile, yeah. Particularly sweet is a World Championship win, and right here in Newport as well.
It means a lot to us because it's the first one with this team. It's the first event win for the team also, so it was very nice to pick it up at the right time with the World Championship title.
And after 3 regattas this season, the world champions Gladiator take the lead overall on 112 points. Quantum Racing slipped down to second on 115, and on 121 points, Sled are still third. Lifestyle and cutting-edge Grand Prix sailing go hand in hand on the 52 Super Series. We race cool, fast, equally matched Grand Prix race boats at some wonderful venues. In total, that provides a very exciting, exclusive platform for entertaining VIP guests. That might be a first experience watching racing on the water with the best seat in the house. It can also be going behind the curtain with the race teams. It might even be sailing on the race boat during the practice sessions. With XS Energy and Rolex, we provide a truly unique experience. And in particular, Newport, Rhode Island was a great experience for all. At the fourth event in beautiful Puerto Portals in the height of summer, Team Vayu hosted the Queen of Thailand. She raced on board the boat during the series, and we had the great pleasure and privilege of her presenting the prizes at the end of the regatta.
It's an incredible honour to have her on board for everything that we represent, the Thai people, and having her with us is just amazing. She's so enthusiastic, it's really exciting.
After all the excitement of 2 regattas in the USA and Newport, Rhode Island, it's back to Europe for the 52 Super Series, Puerto Portals, Mallorca, the 4th event of the 2024 season. Brazil's Crioula team joined the circuit with a great deal of TP52 experience in South America, and the new French team, Teasing Machine, have many years of offshore successes behind them. But both want to test themselves on the world's leading Grand Prix monohull circuit.
We know where we are. We know we are starting in a very high-level series, and it's just a question of doing our job properly and not too many mistakes.
We're quite sure we can do a good job. I think if we can stay in the middle of the fleet, we're going to be very happy. But on this fleet, you can go from heaven to hell in 2 minutes. So that's the idea. Try to stay in heaven for more time.
The new Prevezza made its debut at Puerto Portals 52 Super Series Sailing Week. Fresh relaunched, the team were looking forward to getting their new beauty on the racecourse.
so far seems like we're going okay, and we're trying to make it reliable, understanding, what strings to pull and when.
Back in Europe, in actual fact, Platoon Aviation looked the best. They looked much more like the champions that they have been, and they were indeed. On the Bay of Palma then, Gladiator again won the first race of the regatta. At the end of day one, Germany's Platoon Aviation led by a single point from the freshly crowned world champions Gladiator. While over the piece, it was actually Platoon Aviation who had been most consistent into the last day. But then it was Tony Langley's Gladiator who overturned a 3 points deficit to win their second regatta on the bounce. They carried an 8 points lead into the big finale, the final regatta of the season, the Valencia 52 Super Series Royal Cup.
Obviously really pleased. It was quite a tough week, but we kept our nerves, and today I think that we have a solid day. We read the conditions pretty well, and obviously we pull it off, so we are very, very happy.
And after 4 regattas this season, Gladiator are still leading now on 152 points. Quantum Racing are 8 points behind on 160 and making a late bid. Platoon Aviation on 180 points for third place. So it all comes down to the big finale, the title decider. The shootout for the 2024 season is in Spain's famous America's Cup city of Valencia.
This is the end game, so this is what we've been here for 50 days this season, and each point, each inch gets more and more important.
Gladiator topped the circuit standings, but it was super close, with Quantum Racing powered by American Magic not far behind, and Platoon Aviation very much on form, coming back to present a late charge. But how different the late season Valencia racetrack proved to what we'd seen before this season. Lots of shifty, difficult, breezy offshore conditions. They really tested the afterguards, and for sure this was a venue that did not reward a fixed game plan. In fact, it was the new Preveza which started best overall on day one in Valencia, but in terms of the overall circuit title, Platoon Aviation were on a late charge. Super consistent over the early races, the German flag team immediately stripped away 11 of the 28 points deficit they had coming into the regatta behind Gladiator. The out-and-out title favourites Gladiator really did not prosper in the shifty conditions in Valencia. On Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic, Morgan Larson was in, deputising on the helm for Harry Melges. But the American team remained super consistent, as indeed did Platoon Aviation, who by the final day of this season had fought themselves back from a big deficit to be title contenders on the final day.
So should we bet on you?
I would do so.
If we get sent out to fight, we go out and we fight. This is the highest level of sailing on the planet.
I think it's going to come down to last 100 meters of the racing today.
And what a tense final day of the season it was. On the very last race of 2024, Harm Muller-Speer's Platoon Aviation crossed the line in second place behind Phoenix, but finishing in fifth was actually just enough for Doug DeVos's team on Quantum Racing powered by American Magic to clinch the title. In the end, they eclipsed Platoon Aviation by only one single point after 41 races over 5 regattas of the 2024 season.
As usual, the 52 Super Series comes right down to the last race, last leg, so the team's very happy.
A win's a win, and in this field with so many talented people, I'm just really delighted.
Personally, being here is a dream come true. All these sailors in this fleet have been my heroes for so long. To be able to get the win on Quantum Racing with my teammates, it feels amazing, man. It's a dream come true.
Well, hugely disappointed. It's been the best season we've had, ever.
1 point behind for the whole season, but after 45 races. It's not really nice, but we had it on the other way last year, so we finally won an event and looking forward for the next season.
And so the 52 Super Series 2024 title goes to Quantum Racing powered by American Magic on 207 points. Second are Platoon Aviation on 208. Third are Gladiator on 212. Fourth are Sled after 41 races. So once again, the circuit title absolutely going to the wire right down to the very last race. Quantum Racing, powered by American Magic, doing just enough to win the 2024 title by a single point from Harmler Spear Platoon Aviation. Gladiator get third, but really the 52 Super Series is going from strength to strength looking forward, and the future looks extremely bright.